Resort of San.Remo, home to round 11 of the World Rally Championship. The event, the last all-tarmac rally of the season, takes place in the northwest of Italy, with the 18 stages run in the mountains high above San.Remo itself, and a single service park in the town of Imperia. 8 stages made up day 1, with 6 more on day 2, and then a final 4 on the last day. The dramas began early on the first day. Alistair McRae would later be withdrawn by the Mitsubishi team, while Carlos Sainz's rally was ended by an oil leak. Drive shaft failure then meant retirement for Tommy Mäkinen. Day 2 saw Citroen's Filip Bugalski crash out of 2nd place. That violent impact left Bugalski dazed, while Skoda's Tony Gardemeister would also join the growing list of retirements before the day was out. From the very first stage, the rally's been dominated by the Peugeot team. Despite concerns over a shoulder injury, Gilles Panizzi set a string of faster stage times to lead the rally into the final day, ahead of Marcus Grönholm. Halfway through day 2, Richard Burns was 3rd, but the changeable weather meant a tricky tyre choice. All 3 of the Peugeot drivers opted for dry pattern tyres with extra cuts, forcing the Michelin technicians to work quickly. But the road surface wasn't as wet as they'd expected, and all of the silver cars lost time, Burns suffering the most and dropping to 4th.
Are you surprised that the 3 of you in Peugeot made a bad choice? Is that duff weather information?
It wasn't very good.
The man who benefited most from the confusion was Subaru's Peter Solberg. He's well aware, though, that holding on to that 3rd place won't be easy.
You know, I have to, put the throttle pedal to the bottom, that's for sure.
Another driver who shared Solberg's near-perfect tyre choice was Ford's Marco Martin. He's just 6 seconds behind Burns going into day 3.
The battle continues.
This then is how the leaderboard looks with just 4 stages to go. Panizzi leads Grönholm by 22.1 seconds, while a similar margin separates Solberg and Burns, with Martin 5th. Chasing the point-scoring positions is a frustrated Colin McRae, a lowly 8th after a string of problems on day 1. The 2002 World Rally Championships' last day on asphalt was set to be a cracker. Panizzi knew he couldn't afford to relax. Grönholm was tantalisingly close to his first win on tarmac, while Burns was grimly determined to snatch back that podium position and keep alive his hopes of retaining his world title. Solberg, meanwhile, was set for a scrap. Colin McRae knew that the best he could hope for was a point or 2 for his team, unless 2 or more of the 7 drivers ahead of him retired. It didn't stop him from pushing, as his brakes testified, but he knew that both the drivers' and manufacturers' championships were slipping away.
In San.Remo, one of the characteristics of this event is a kind of hairpin like this one. It's a hairpin where the driver normally intends to use the handbrake, unless it becomes very slippery, which is the risk of having a spin is dangerous. If you miss the braking, this is what is waiting for you. This, which is solid, thick wall. And that is very, very dangerous, because once you touch it, you rip a wheel off, and that's the end of your event. So you have to be very careful on the braking points as well.
The final day of the Rally San.Remo would consist of just 4 stages, 2 stretches of road repeated in fact, less than 90 kilometres in all.
Richard, 88 kilometres left to go today. Counts for quite a lot for the rally and the championship.
Yeah, it does. I mean, really nothing we can do about Marcus, but we can try and get 3rd place back from Petter. It'll be quite tough because he's like 21 seconds in front, and that's it's quite a big gap when the roads are the same, and there's not much opportunity to take a lot of time, but we'll try and do what we can.
Marco, just 26 seconds between you and a podium today. Can you do it?
I don't think it's possible. If Petter doesn't make a mistake, we can't catch him for sure. But we'll have a good go, and maybe we can be close enough with Richard. You never know.
Colin, looks like it's going to be 2 manufacturers' points at least, but some drivers' points would be nicer.
Yeah, but it's not very likely at the moment, so all we could do is try and get the 2 points for Ford.
What about these stages today? Are they very different?
No, same, backwards.
Stage 15 was the first of those tests. The virtual spectator maps out the stage's twists and turns and shows how the road climbs up to and then runs along a ridge with some frightening drops on the right-hand side before finally turning downhill again towards the finish. With only the 2 roads being used, the crowds were enormous. The spectators sensed the dramas about to be played out before them and didn't want to miss out. The job of increasing the excitement fell to those running at the lower end of the 15. Freddie Lutz was first into the stage after the 20 minutes or so he lost by going off the road on the last of day 2 stages. Kenneth Eriksson and Tina Turner were now chasing Francois Delacour and Daniel Grateloop for the last of the manufacturer points. The Skoda though was only 12 seconds slower than Mitsubishi. McRae and Nicky Grist was slower still. McRae's heart didn't seem to be in the fight, however. His usual aggressive driving style was absent.
30 left and 4 right minus, opens long. And 4 left minus, line. Into left and 6 right opens.
Cedric Robert on a one-off drive in a Peugeot World Rally car was now a minute and 41 seconds ahead of McRae, so there was indeed no point in heroics for the Ford driver. 6th place Kenz's Puras was also content, it seemed, to take things easy and wait to see what would happen ahead of him. Bugalski's retirement meant his was the only Citroën Zara still in the event, and he was determined to get a good result. After all, the team's lineup for next year is still far from settled, so Puras was sending a clear message that he's available if required. Peugeot will win the Manufacturers' Championship if they get a 1-2 and Ford failed to score at least 3 points. With Panizzi and Gronholm satisfying the first of those requirements, it was now Marco Martin's 5th place which was keeping Ford's title hopes alive.
34 plus left, 43 right camber, 5 left, 50, 5 minus right, tightens into 4 minus left, long, 30, short 5 right,
fastest, Sid Martin and co-driver Michael Park knew what they had to do and weren't going to risk attacking Burns. The world champion himself wouldn't be so cautious. Retaining his title was the priority, and the extra point for retaking 3rd place the target.
And fast left, a flat left in 20, fast right minus in, and fast right long 50, fast left and fast left in 40, slight right, 70, the left max braking 60, medium left minus, tightens long 30, medium left, tightens to hairpin right, 60, slow medium right, long, fast left, to long crest 50, medium left minus, 60, easy right.
Solberg, occupying that 3rd place, was next to blast off into the stage. Solberg has finished on the podium before, most recently in Finland a little over a month ago, but has never done so on a tarmac rally. His confidence, though, is growing with each event he does, and to hold off Burns' challenge would be a huge boost for the Norwegian.
Early 6 left minus, keep in, 40, line into 3 right, tightens 2, opens 60, line into 4, left minus, tightens, opens 40.
That's too much on the steep hill.
Too much movement, yeah.
Despite being faster, Solberg clearly thinks he made a mistake.
Wrong tyre choice.
Marcus Gronholm went next, wondering whether to risk pushing to make up time on Panizzi or settle for 6 points for 2nd place. Panizzi, though, only seems to know one pace, and to back off would be unthinkable.
60 mètres, droite 90 plus, moins 2.
His 3rd successive victory in Italy was now almost within reach.
100 mètres, gauche à fond. 80 mètres. droite 95 long. 15 long. 100 mètres. Gauche 95, presque plus.
So it was Solberg who took the stage win, and on supposedly the wrong tyres. But what might Petter be thinking as he and Phil Mills swapped those tyres around on the road section after the stage? Nothing had changed in the order on the leaderboard after stage 15, but some of the gaps had changed. Solberg was now exactly 22 seconds clear of Burns, while Martin had dropped over 5 seconds to the Peugeot driver. Cedric Robert still led the chasing pack, with Colin McRae now driving to finish, it seemed. The spectators were as vocal as ever on stage 16, Mendatica at nearly 19 kilometres. Belgium's Bruno Thierry might have been outside the top 12, but that didn't stop him setting the equal 5th fastest time on the stage. Like Colin McRae, Francois Delacour had huge gaps to the drivers on either side, and so also backed off. The factor of point it seemed was secure. Marco Martin was also starting to fall back after the expected fight with Burns. With 2 stages left, the gap was now over 16 seconds.
40, 4 plus right, long, long. And 4 minus left, slow. 100, easy right, tunnel. 80, crest 5 right, don't cut. 40, 5 left, 5 minus right. Into 4 left, Eri.
Thoras, though, was also slower, so the fourth driver didn't have to worry about being caught.
Izquierda 8 largas y más ojo, derecha 3 tarde. 40. Derecha 10 por fuera, larga 9, frenando, izquierda 2.
But again, the battle for 3rd place was what held most people's attention.
Flat left 30, flat right in low, 60 braking. Flat left tight into maybe 30, medium left plus. Long, 50. Medium right minus long to key right plus. 30, flat right, 50 braking. Medium left, gravel maybe, and medium left minus. 40, medium left plus. Tightens. Richard finished the stage.
Robert Reed's calm voice gives no hint of the stress that Richard Burns must have been under. Nor does Phil Mills, for that matter.
In the flat 5 right at 60, slow line into 6 left long, tightens 2 minus tightens, and slippy surface 2 right minus tightens 1 plus. Tightens and opens to keep right over crest 30, don't cut slippy 2 left minus tightens. 30, slippy, short 2 left keep in.
So over 6 seconds swung back in Burns' favour, while Marcus Grönholm and Timo Rautiainen had now decided to go into attack mode.
5 oikein pitkä nopea kirraa. Hyppy 4 ja vasen nopea. Stage is clear for Marcus.
Gilles and Hervé Benitzi would then stop the clock at exactly the same time as Burns agreed. So the gap between 1st and 2nd place was now just over 20 seconds, with only those 2 stages to run again. The podium places, it seemed, wouldn't be decided until the very last stage.
Marco, just 16 seconds behind Richard Burns. Is it worth risking that with 2 stages to go?
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's a long way to Richard now. I think if he doesn't make a mistake, it's no chance for us. But we'll try to keep a good speed and see.
Richard, it's highly likely that it's going to be 4th overall.
It does. We closed a little bit on Petter, but not really enough. With only 2 stages to go, he's still got quite a good lead on us. So we pulled out a little bit on Marco, and all we can do is carry on like that.
Petter, it looks like the 3rd spot on the podium's got your name on it.
It's going to be difficult. You know, it's going to be a hard fight. I know that these Peugeots have very good tires when it's very, very hot, and of course we have to take a little bit harder compound now and try to do our best.
Were you taking any risks this morning?
A little, because Marcus push a lot in the first, and yes, but it was good.
Stage 17 was another run through the day's first test, but if anything, the crowds were even bigger. Kenneth Eriksson's Skoda wasn't the only Octavia in the top 12. Roman Cresta was nearly a minute behind his more experienced teammate, but still had a 39-second cushion over the man behind him, Bruno Thierry. The first of no fewer than 4 Peugeot 206s on the leaderboard was driven by Cédric Robert. The Frenchman has been impressive all weekend in what was an unfamiliar car, although he was now clearly getting to grips with the WRC. He and co-driver Gérard Bedon would be 5th quickest on stage 17, beating Marco Martin and Michael Park by nearly 2 seconds.
Flat right, 86 left braking, 33 left, 30 short 4 left, hairpin right, 50, 4 minus right, and 5 left, tightens to 3.
Despite what he told us at Imperial, Richard Burns clearly still hadn't given up on that bid for 3rd place.
80 flat right 30, fast right plus, and fast right plus cut line 30, flat right 50, K left minus 20, easy right 50, easy left plus in, and flat left 20, flat right and flat right 30, fast left long 10, K right 20, fast left in, go 40, easy right, tightens braking 10, line medium left minus in.
Solberg had a real fight on his hands.
2 left minus, opens 80. Early 6 left minus, tightens keep in 40. Line into 3 right, tightens 2. Opens 60. Line into 4 left minus, tightens. Opens 40.
Yeah, it was moving, Phil.
Yeah. More than I thought. 53.
Only 2 seconds were lost, but again, he thinks he could have done better.
Incredible.
Funny bit of road that coming down there.
Petter, how was the stage?
Stage is okay, but the tire, it's moving too much. Losing all the time, I can feel, you know. It should have taken even harder tire. I don't know.
The road Phil Mills referred to wasn't raising any smiles in Grunho's car. Still with such a huge championship lead, the Finn didn't actually need the victory. 2nd place and the 6 points would do very nicely, with the 3 remaining rounds in New Zealand, Australia and Great Britain all on his favourite surface. Panizzi, meanwhile, was now almost within sight of his 3rd win of the season. So, stage 18 would decide the rally. The first thing to be settled was who won the first of the manufacturer's points. To Mitsubishi's relief, that went to Francois Delacour. Colin McRae would pick up 2 for his team, but none for himself. The atmosphere inside the car as he and Ricky Grist crossed the finish line could be cut within a knife. Cédric Robert, on the other hand, was delighted with his weekend's work. 7th overall on his first run of the car was a terrific performance. Jesus Porras too was happy. 6th position in the first of the drivers' points was a good result, although the Spaniard never looked like repeating his win on last year's Rally of France.
40.
Marco Martin and Michael Park had done their job well. Again quicker than Porras on the final stage, they finished 5th. And so kept Ford's hopes of the manufacturer's title alive. But it'll still take a miracle for them to snatch the crown away from Peugeot. But what of the battle for 3rd?
Right minus 50, flat left. It's a flat left 30, flat right in long, 60 braking, flat left tightens maybe 30, medium left plus, long, 50, medium right minus long to K right plus 30, flat right, 50 braking, medium left.
The previous stage had seen Burns take his first stage win of the event, but could he repeat it?
Left plus tightens. Richard finished the stage.
Reed's resigned handshake clearly suggests he doesn't think so. It was now down to Solberg and Mills.
Early 4 right plus, into 4 left minus tightens, 30, 2 left tightens keep in. And slippy surface, 2 right minus, tightens 1 plus tightens, opens to keep right to minus 30, don't cut slippy, 2 left minus tightens.
This time the reaction as the pair cross the line is a lot more animated, both in the car
Spot on.
and back at service.
Wow! That was good. Very, very good.
But there were still the first 2 places to settle. Bruno would get attacked, although he must have known that 23 seconds was a lot to make up in only 19 kilometres.
Yes, 6 pistettä he. Kyllä.
Only a mistake or a mechanical breakdown could now stop the Panizzi brothers from taking the win. And with the driver once again millimetre perfect, the car also behaved impeccably. The now legendary scenes of Peugeot jubilation weren't far off.
Top arrivée. Bravo, petit. Vive Peugeot.
In the end, Gilles Panizzi's winning margin was nearly 21 seconds, while an ecstatic Petter Solberg held off Richard Burns to finish on the podium. Martin and Pouras picked up the remaining drivers' points, while there were team points too for Francois Delacour and the unhappy Colin McRae. So, adding those points to the Drivers' Championship standings, the battle for the title is now effectively a 3-way affair, with Burns and McRae the only real threats to Grönholm. No points for Tommy Mäkinen, again, leaves the 4-time champion languishing in 9th place.
Richard, after this result, the defence of your World Championship is going to be a tall order, I think.
A little bit shaky, yeah. Yeah, we've got 23 points behind now, which is quite a lot, with only 3 rallies to go.
One positive, though, Peugeot are just within a few points of retaining that manufacturer's.
Yeah, and also we've overtaken Colin now to get up to 2nd in the championship. Still there's that big gap, but at least it's better like that than the other way around.
Petter, you must be very, very pleased with your first ever podium on asphalt.
Yes, that's for sure. We have been worked so hard on every tarmac rally this year and been so close, but now actually it paid off.
3 fastest stage times as well. That's a great tally as well.
Yeah, actually that was very good. You know, the stage this morning, it was a little bit colder, you know, and then everything was perfect. And the good thing was we beat Richard. That's that's the good thing.
Marcus, 2nd here in San-Remo. You must now surely be thinking of that 2nd World Rally Championship.
Yeah, it's a good possibility to win it now. Good lead, yeah. It's we need some points now to secure it, but it's not sure because everything is possible in this business. So.
Your 3rd win in 3 years here in San-Remo, but is this the most special?
Yes, fantastic. It's my first time to win 3rd time in a year. And of course, in this condition, it was not easy. It's never easy to win, but this time it was not easy.
In the series for manufacturers, Peugeot are now within only a couple of points of securing the title, although it's still not quite over yet.
We are leading the championship with 131 points, much more than with a huge gap on Ford. It's not yet done, but I think that it will be done one of these days, as far as the manufacturer title. Marcus has now 23 points on Richard and 24 on Colin. Richard is 2nd, good thing. Gilles is 4th in the championship. Well, what should I add else? I mean, it's fantastic.
Next, the World Rally Championship makes its longest journey of the year to the North Island of New Zealand. Richard Burns won the event last year, but Marcus Grönholm's also tasted victory on this spectacular gravel switchback ride. Rossi shrugged off any worries about his shoulder injury and has driven superbly this weekend to take a well-deserved third successive win in Italy. The last 3 days have witnessed incidents, accidents, highs and lows. The Peugeot steamroller rumbles on, and it's now surely only a matter of time before they take home both world titles. Or is it? Join us in New Zealand in a fortnight's time, but from the rally San Remo. Ciao.